Hey, what's up, everybody? BDO44 coming at you with another video. So I saw the highlights of the play-in tournament game between the Bulls and the Heat, and not what I thought. Not what I thought. I did have the Chicago Bulls winning the game, but I did also tell everybody that I thought the Heat attacked the Bulls in ways that maybe would be a little unorthodox for the Bulls to handle. But that was a really intriguing game. It seemed like it was fun to watch throughout. But Zach LaVine, 6'21", 0 for 6 from behind the arc. Hero ball, man. It's the one thing I say about Zach LaVine that drives me crazy. He's a heck of an athlete, but he doesn't really have the greatest basketball IQ, and it rears its ugly head at the worst possible time, and here we have it. This is why I didn't want my Lakers to acquire his contract. This is why, man, because he doesn't necessarily play his best ball at the best when the biggest moments. And this was a matchup that I thought would be soft for him. But it didn't turn out that way. I don't know who they put on him, but they were effective, whatever it was. And meanwhile, Max Strus, he went off. He had a career night. I think he had like 31 points, maybe about 6 or 7 threes. And then, of course, you got to give Jimmy Butler his credit, 31 points as well. Now, Bam, 1 for 9. I told you guys his scoring comes and goes. And if you look at the Miami bench, they only use 3 players off of their bench. That's not going to work. That's just not going to work. So I don't expect for them to get too far against the Bucks at all. That's food right there for the Bucks. But the Bulls gotta consider some things too. I talked about how they have some players there that I like, but they also have some overlap with their roster that doesn't really make it make sense as of yet. Then they got the Lonzo Ball contract just kind of eating away at nothing, at everything. They should probably do some things. Small ball is garbage. We know that. You can't get away with that. They probably should have went to Andre Drummond a little more in the game tonight. But Patrick Beverly, yesterday I went on a little tirade, not a tirade, but a good kind of soliloquy, I guess you could say, about Patrick Beverly and how congratulating him for making the playoffs. And I realized he still had another game to play. And then I realized that matchup didn't look that good. I'm like, well, it doesn't look like he's going to make the playoffs. If this matchup doesn't go the right way, he could still miss the playoffs. So I got to snatch back those congratulations. He didn't make the playoffs for the very first time in his entire career. And it was a year he said he wanted to knock my Lakers off out of the playoffs after joining a team that he knew was going to see us twice in a row. I think that's the only reason why he actually signed there. And sure enough, they did not make the playoffs, man. And he had a gopher night tonight. He had awful stats. I don't know if Billy Donovan, I personally do not believe in small ball at all. And I know he was using it a lot. To me, that's enough of a reason to get rid of somebody. But I do think the Bulls should go in a different direction with their coaching situation because it's going to be hard to maneuver their roster. I think Zach LaVine will have some suitors, but this performance tonight really will be glaring when in the offseason when considering moving him if they did decide to move him. You best believe if I'm on the other end of that negotiation table, I'm going to be like, well, how are you looking at play-in tournament game in Miami? And, we'll talk about how much I should be giving up to get him from you at that price. And I just don't know, man. The Bulls are going to have to do a lot of things with their roster. Vucevic, that's not the piece. That's never been the piece for their center position, I don't think. If they want to go forward with Patrick Williams, I think he's a nice piece, but I think they could also probably move on from him and probably get a first-round pick or a nice prospect that maybe they believe in a little more. I don't know how they feel. But moving Dylon Terry up and trying to see if he can be that lottery piece that you picked him up to be last year, developing him makes sense to me. Ayo Dosunmu, obviously you got to develop him. That makes sense to me. And that's really what it's about. That's really what it's about. I don't really see a whole lot there for the Bulls, to be honest with you. If you like their core, then you see a lot. But I see an aging DeMar DeRozan who was great this year, but I don't know how much longer we're going to get this out of him. I just don't know. This was a good year. How much longer? And I see Zach LaVine, who I just don't think has any upside from here. This is as good as it gets for Zach LaVine. He's a heck of an athlete, heck of a weapon, easy buckets. If you could just teach him how to play basketball the right way, you'll have a heck of a piece. So that's really what it is with Zach, man. He's just got to sit down, look in the mirror, and embrace the ever-changing process of being a student of the game. You just got to keep on searching, man, because he's not a finished product, and some of his weaknesses really hurt hurt his team. You know, they really do. When he gets into his hero ball bag, that ain't good basketball, bro. And so that's pretty much what I got to say about that. There's still some learning for a guy like Zach LaVine. He really needs good coaching. That's what a guy like Zach needs. I don't think he's had it, to be honest with you. I don't think he's had good coaching, man. Honestly. So with respect to the coach he has now, Billy Donovan, I don't think he's getting what he needs, man. I don't think so. So that's really what it is, man. I don't particularly love the construction of that Bulls roster at all. I think they got some things to work with, but that Lonzo Ball contract hurts a lot. It just hurts. And it's just sitting there glaring, man. So embracing the rebuild might not be the worst idea for the Chicago Bulls. That might not be the worst idea. I might be willing to move on from pretty much anything and everything not named Ayo Dosunmu, basically. Unless there's another couple of names of youngsters that I'm not thinking about, I can let go of all of that. Caruso, I like Caruso, but he's a middle of the pack in terms of a timeline player. So he's already won a championship. I ain't going to have him part of a rebuilding effort. So that's really what I'm thinking, man. It's time to see some new people in some new places as it pertains to Chicago Bulls. I would love to see them do an overhaul. Same thing with the Miami Heat. Even though they won this game, I still don't believe in nothing that they got really except for Jimmy, Bam on the defensive side, Tyler. You know, that's about it. Everything else there, Max Strus, he ain't going to shoot like that again. If he does, consider me wrong, but I've seen Max Strus do wonderful things, and I've seen Max Strus go 6 for 21 a lot, and he's more likely to do that. So enjoy the great game from Max Strus. If you see it again, be surprised. It's one of those type of things. But all in all, man, it seemed like that was a good game. Now, I got another game to watch right now, so I'm done talking about this. Get back to that OKC Timberwolves matchup. My name is BDF44. I thank you all for watching. I'm out.